Hey guys, Shadow Reviewer here. Well, here we are, the final video talking about Mako Mermaids. And today I'm reviewing Mako Mermaids Season 3. Now, here's the big question. Is it as good as, well, the previous season? Or is it the worst? Well, I think it's better than Season 1, but a bit of a downgrade in Season 2. Let me explain. Starting off with the positives, I think the way that they handled the villain of the season is is honestly great. Now, the villain isn't in it as much, but the villain does impact the conflict of the characters. And I have to say, it's pretty much the water tentacle from H2O Season 3, but with a really good plot twist and really cool design. I mean, who'd have thought water dragons could look seriously intimidating? And this one is pretty damn intimidating. I'm just... wow. And speaking of which, I like the twist that the water dragon was actually Zack and Mimi's mother, Narissa. I like how it was built up. It makes sense, and it's a beautiful moment in the finale. More on that in a bit. But I think it's a pretty decent villain with a good ending. One that's has a good redemption. I think the characters are well established. Well, good enough. Okay, I'll explain one of them in my mixed aspect. I think Zack is still great. His brotherly interactions with his sister Mimi is honestly pretty well done. I think this is the strongest performance from Isabel Duran as Ondina. Ondina was good back in Season 2, but Season 3 is where she's a little stronger. Mostly, I'll get to the mixed aspect. Well, yeah, I'll get into the mixed aspect. But I think the one that got more character developed the most is Mimi. Mostly because her job at the marine park and her interactions with Zack and her mother. Honestly, this is Ellie Bertrand's best performance out of the entire series. She is fantastic here. But the character I think gets the best introduction is Wei-Lan. Now, I am iffed that she didn't appear earlier on, but the character makes such a fantastic introduction. Now, I did have iffed about the mermaids in this series, like Lila, Serena, Nixie, Ondina, and maybe not having the best introductions. But the one that does have the best introduction is Wei-Lan. I think she is fantastic here. Linda No gives a fantastic performance in the entire season. And while Wei-Lan has some questionable moments in there, they're only nitpicks. But still, she is great. Fantastic, even. And given that she's probably the mermaid with the shortest appearance in the series, she's still pretty great. Fantastic work from Linda No. And yeah, that's my positives. Okay, now on to the mixed aspect. And I'll leave the biggest mixed aspect for last, because I've got a big talk about that one. The side characters. While there are there's only one that has pretty much no reason to be there. I'll get to him in a bit. The rest of them, I think, could use more work. I'll start with the actual notable side characters. First of all, Joe, David's brother. He's honestly at his worst here, but he does get a few decent laughs. Firstly, his reaction to the water dragon got the biggest laughs. His reaction to being caught in a lie was pretty damn funny. His reaction to the water bubble actually got a few decent laughs. So yeah, while I hate the character, his comedic reactions get the best laughs. And that's more than saying much given his only 2 appearances back in seasons 1 and 2. Who else is there? Miss Trunbull, still annoying, but she has one episode where she actually does get the biggest laughs. But the way they write her character off at the end is pretty stupid. Is there Uncle Shen? I think he is pretty good. I just wish he had more screen time. Now, episode 5 you could pretty much cut, but episode 9 is where he's at his best, and I like his little scenes with Wei Lan. I think they were pretty well acted and pretty well written. I just wish he had more, screen time. Like a bigger appearance. Viridia only appears a couple of times. She's alright. Nothing too harmful, but yeah, okay. Who else is there? Ricky. She only appears in the final episodes of the season. I'm a little iffed she doesn't appear in the finale. More on that in a bit. But I like that she's the only character from the original series to make an appearance, and it's pretty damn cool. A big shocker at the time, but still pretty damn cool. Well done, Capri Hind. You did an excellent job. But my biggest missed aspect with a sidekick that could have used more in there, Chris. I like Taylor Lautner's performance. I think he did well. And while his friend Carl is okay, Chris honestly gets the biggest punch to the face. I don't like his and Mimi's relationship. It's pretty much, well, I don't want to say Emma and Ash's relationship in H2O season 2 bad, but it's still honestly the weakest relationship in Mako Mermaids. I just wish Mimi could, tell him already. Kind of like with Serena telling David at the end. Why do this? Doesn't make any sense to me. Next up we have Cam and Carly. While I do like Dominic Deutscher and Brooke Lee's chemistry. They do great with the teaser they're given. I just wish their relationship was more expanded. Like, given they only had one date throughout the entire season, and it's honestly where Cam was at his worst. I mean, granted he does learn his lesson, but that was one and only time. But, it's mostly Cam taking the job, which I loved, by the way, but he focuses more on the job and less spending time with his girlfriend. Honestly, I think Carly was right at that point. Maybe he should have picked her over the job. I don't know. I just wish there was more of the relationship. But the one I think gets the crappiest shaft in the season, Rita. I like Karith Atkinson's performance. She is great as Rita as always. But what they do with her character to end her story is one of the biggest screw yous I have ever seen in a series, period. It's insulting is what I'm saying. We had 3 seasons with this character, and this is how they end it. If you want to know more, go watch my review of Season 3, Episode 14. I think you know where I'm going with this. I thought the finale was 50-50. For one, the battle itself was fantastic. It's great effects, pretty decent ending, and happy reunions all around. I just wish, Ricky actually showed up. I mean, see the dragon for herself. Imagine her reaction. That would have been pretty cool, but we don't get that. I don't know, there's nothing to it, to be honest. I just wish Ricky was there, add fuel to the fire, if you know what I mean. And now on to the biggest mixed aspect, Evie. Now, when Gemma Forsythe gives a fantastic performance, she is great. Now, what they do with her character in the second half of the season, it's a pretty big, divisive bit among fans. And here is where I think they should have done it better. Now, don't get me wrong, him having them doing what they did is pretty ballsy. Making Evie lose her powers to the dragon at the end of the first half of the season, that takes a lot of cojones to do. But where they just write her character off being in the background of the second half, that's where I'm mixed. And honestly, and this is just my pitch, you can't disagree with this one, but here I think this is where they should have handled it a little better. Instead of making Evie losing her powers in episode 8, I think she should have lost her tail a lot later. Like in episode 14. Just skip the bull crap that is Rita's story and go straight into that. So you can have the same story. Evie tries to protect Zap but loses her tail. And then the two-part season finale. Evie trying to deal with it while trying to get some comfort from the girls. Same rules apply. But Evie's in such a slump she doesn't know what to do. Then comes the big fight. And I think during this time, Evie isn't sure that during the full moon if she should turn back into a mermaid, get her second chance of becoming a mermaid again, or stay human. And this is pretty much would be an interesting interpretation. And this is where Evie decides to stay human. And yeah, it's actually no, scratch that part. This is pretty much left to the imagination, left to the interpretation. Did she choose to become a mermaid or stay a human? Then during the finale, we don't know. She helps out the guys, but we don't know from the perspective if she's human or mermaid. And then it's revealed that she's decided to stay human. She missed out on a lot of things, and that she decided becoming ordinary girl is... She decided that. I think this is where she decides to mature out a little bit. Now, yeah, that could be somewhat interesting, you know, but that's just my pitch. I think they should have made Evie losing her tail a little later. Let Evie decide if she should try and fix the problem or just accept it. I think that could be more interesting. But yeah, the whole bit with Evie's character, Gemma Forsythe does excellent as per always. But the way they handled it, I'm a little mixed. And now I like they decided to do this halfway into the season, but I'm wondering if they pushed her on the back burner. But again, you can just ignore my pitch, but I think that they should have done it a little later. That's my vast opinion. Alright, now on to the negatives. The season is way too damn short. I mean, I get it. You want to speed these up and keep it short, you know, straight to the point. But that's my only problem. The characters don't get enough development. Now, I like Waylon as much as the next person, but 26 episodes with her could have been very satisfying. I mean, she could have had more story, like maybe a whole episode dedicated to her trying to help Evie cope with the loss of her powers, or maybe more time with the girls trying to find more different ways to defeat the dragon, or Zach could have more interaction with Mimi. Hell, there could have been a lot of cool things they could have done in this season, but cutting it short can be somewhat of a good thing, but also not a lot of development. Oh, and speaking of development, David. Now, I like Rowan Hills' acting as much as the next person. He did great in seasons 1 and 2. Season 3, he adds nothing. Like, what are you doing here, bro? Your story ended with Serena. Why are you here? Yeah, they explain back in episode 1 that Serena went on holiday with her sister, but David, go with her. You're in love with her, remember? Why are you here? I mean, I guess it's to not write him off finishing high school, but again, Emma didn't finish high school back in H2R, so why are you here? You honestly add nothing to the story. And also, you finding out about the rest of the girls, they should have explained that a little better. Like, take some time in episode 1 to actually explain how he knows about it. It makes no sense to me. So yeah, he adds nothing to the story. He's just a punching bag for Joe to pick on, and a lame way to find out Waylon's a mermaid. Yeah, he adds nothing to the story. And yeah, you could say that for Cam and Carly, but they have a relationship to build in this season. They have a reason to be there. You have nothing to add here. I'm sorry. Like, I've watched all 16 episodes in the season, and I can't find one reason why you're here. Not one. I mean, for all I know, you could have gone off into the sunset with Serena and leave Carly in charge of the cafe. Hello? This makes no goddamn sense. But is Mako Mermaids Season 3 good? It is good, but a step down from Season 2. But still a good season. And that's the end of the video, folks. Hope you like it. Yeah, it's been a great journey for the past 4 months doing this series. Back then I was mixed on it, but now I'm older and a little wiser. I'm kind of grown on this series. I thought the characters were more interesting. I liked the stories. The villains are honestly pretty strong, and yeah, the acting is pretty good. So, thank you for bringing me on this journey, and thank you to the subscribers that have been wanting me to cover this series for so damn long. So yeah, thank you. Give me a thumbs up, like and comment, and subscribe. I hope to get more videos like this. Speaking of which, I'm gonna start on my next series. And it's one... And yes, like Mako Mermaids, it's a sequel to a previous show I've already covered. Drumroll, please. Legend of Korra. Yes, I'm gonna finally start reviewing Legend of Korra, starting with Season 1, Episode 1, Welcome to Republic City. Keep an eye out for that video. Starting this Sunday. Until then, I'm the Shadow Reviewer, signing off.